welcome back to the channel. So, to catch you up from over the weekend, on Saturday, I went to a friend's birthday party. Her name is Monique. Had an awesome time hanging out with the ladies. On my way to her house, I was running late. She was having spaghetti, so I was like, I'll bring some fresh baked bread and some homemade garlic butter. And so by the time that got cooled off and stuff, I was already running late. And then I decided to take the back roads to her house because it's like 10 minutes shorter to go the dirt roads than it is to go the paved roads. And of course, I pop a tire, had a flat. I was driving down this dirt road and noticed that all of a sudden my car was pulling to the right real bad. And I was like, I better stop and get out and just check. So I did. Sure enough, my front passenger tire was flat. And so then it wasn't that long ago that we had the same problem, except on the passenger rear tire got popped. Now, if you don't drive dirt roads a lot, like I've actually never had it happen where a rock has popped my tire before, but I guess it's because our tires are almost getting to the point where we need to replace them. And so this is the second tire in just a couple of months that has been popped by rocks on the road. And anyway, so of course, where I break down was in a place where I did not have cell signal. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm a big girl. I can change a tire, So we had the spare tire in the trunk. We had the jack. But unfortunately, I couldn't find the tire iron to get the tire off. Our trunk is a mess right now because we were doing the Shade Tree Mechanics Club. So it had tools in there. Of course, not the ones that I needed, but there were tools in there. We've got a bunch of like empty water bottles, and we've got some stuff that we brought from our house from Oklahoma, never took out of there. We have ice bags, and it's a whole bunch of like stuff that I really need to clean out. Every time I open the trunk, I'm like, why haven't I handled this yet? And then I'm like, well, I don't have time to do it right now, and I just shut it and go make dinner, do whatever else I'm in a hurry to get done. So I couldn't find the tire iron thing to get the tire off. So I'm like sitting there, and the one person drove by. Mind you, it's a dirt road out in the middle of nowhere, so there's no traffic at all. I was out there for about 30 minutes, and one person drove by, and then I was like, hey, trying to wave her down, and she just pretended like she didn't see me and kept going. So I was like, all right, whatever. Then I'm about to grab my cell phone and just start walking until I get service so that I can call Wiley and say, hey, can you bring me stuff to change the tire? And then my friend Melanie shows up from Simple Life Reclaimed. She was on her way to our friend Monique's house for the birthday party, and she decided to take the back roads too, thank goodness. So she come up and she's like, yeah, hang on, we got this. We don't need to call the guys. We've got it. We're capable. We can change a tire. Come to find out, her new car, her Mitsubishi Overlander, Outlander, whatever it is that she has, does not come with stuff to change a tire. We looked all of her car. She had a little bit of cell service, so she called Gary, and Gary's like, hang on, let me figure it out. They haven't had this car for very long. And come to find out, a lot of newer cars do not come with stuff to change a tire. They come with like a can of like Fix-A-Flat, basically, I guess. But the hole in my tire was pretty bad. We didn't even find the can of Fix-A-Flat. We couldn't even figure out where it was hidden at. It does look like there's a spare tire compartment underneath the car, but it's like enclosed. So we would have had to get under there and get stuff, like have tools to get into it. I don't know. We didn't look into it that much. So then I called Wiley and I was like, hey, I finally got a bar of service. My phone said I didn't have service. Like, it had the little exclamation mark, on the little phone service bar thing. But then I was actually able to make a call. So I called Wiley, and he was gonna bring me the stuff I needed to change the tire. But Then I called my friend Monique. Wiley was like, all right, let me find the stuff and I'll be there in a few minutes, because I really wasn't that far away from home. Monique's is like 12 miles or something from our house, and I was about halfway there. Anyway, so he was like, all right, well, let me find the stuff. And I was like, okay. So then I called Monique and I said, hey, I'm gonna be even later because, well, I got a flat tire. And she's like, well, where are you? I've got everything in my truck already. So basically everybody that was at her party came to save me on the side of the road. Mel waited with me. And good news is, like, the silver lining was at least it was on a road that wasn't busy, and it was in the shade. So even though it was hot, we weren't standing out in the blaring sun, you know. And so Monique and her brother-in-law and her sister come, and we got like this whole, like, the whole side of the road covered up with cars. While we were waiting on Monique, there was a young couple that came. So their names were Patrick and Jaden, I believe. Melanie got them on her video. I didn't video it. Anyway, she got them on video saying thanks, and they were probably in their 20s, I bet early 20s. And it was so nice of them to have stopped. So they had the tire iron. Monique brought, you know, the other stuff, and we were able to get the tire changed, and the guys changed it. I was like, I can change it, like, y'all don't have to, but I'm not gonna demasculate a man and make them stand there and make me and watch, you know. So they wanted to do it. I was like, okay. So I let them change the tire. So yeah, I am on my way now. It's Monday. Yesterday we went to church. We had our life group after church, and we got to hang out with some cool friends, and we ate food, and then we went home and we kind of relaxed for the rest of the day. I did take care of some business and was up late at night doing some business stuff. But today, Wiley is working in Waldron at our friend Greg's house. So if you guys didn't know, if you missed it on Friday's live, our friend Greg, his shop got broke into, and they wiped him out, y'all. Like, probably $40,000 worth of tools. And so Wiley's down there helping Greg. Greg drove from Chicago down to his place here in Waldron to take care of some stuff. So Wiley's down there helping him today. And I was gonna go down there and help him, but then I was like, well, it's probably not a good idea to drive that far on a donut, on a spare tire. So I'm going to the tire shop. I'm going to Magazine Tire here in Magazine. That's Wiley knows them really well, and anytime he has any tire stuff, he always goes over here. So I'm going to take the tire over here, see if they can patch it. Hopefully they can. And then if they can, then I'll put it back on. If they can't, I'll have to figure out how to get another tire. Really, I'm at that point in my life, I don't like buying used tires, because yeah, you can buy them for like 50 bucks or whatever, but you could buy a brand new tire for not that much more, and you don't have to worry about having a bubble in it or going flat or having wires sticking out or anything. I've had my fair share of bad used tires. I've learned that if you just scrimp and save, buy all the tires at the same time, and you're good to go for a while. That won't be happening right now, but if I have to buy a used tire, then we'll figure it out. Either way, I have to do that. I have to go get feed for the animals. The goats are out of feed, the rabbits are out of feed, so I have to go get food for them. I need to get cat food and pick up something for dinner, and that's pretty much gonna be my day today. While I'm waiting on the tire to be patched, I've got some videos that I can work on getting put out. And so yeah, I guess I'll take you guys along for the rest of it, but I'm pulling into the tire shop right now. So I'm gonna get off of here and see what they can do about my tire, and go from there. I don't even know where to pull up here because Wiley always does this stuff. Anyway, we'll just pull up right here in front, I guess. Anyway, I'll be back, y'all. I will be back. Alright, y'all. So if you are anywhere in the area, I highly, highly, highly recommend Magazine Tire. They are, well, for this, it was very affordable to get my tire patched, okay? And actually, he plugged it because I guess the hole was too big to patch, but he got it figured out. And then I really appreciate that he had the knowledge or experience or whatever to suggest that I put that tire on the back instead of back on the front where it came from. So he took my rear driver's tire and put it on the front passenger side, and then took that plug tire and put it on the back. He said that way, if it were to blow out or something, then I could still have control of the vehicle. So I appreciate that. Plus, I didn't even ask him to. He topped off the air on my other tires too, which is super fantastic. So I just feel like every time we go to Magazine Tire, top-notch service, awesome people over there. So if you're in the area and you need some tire stuff done, I think they do mechanic work too. I really don't know, but I know Wiley knows people over there really well. So yeah, go to Magazine Tire. Anyway, we are on our way to go get some animal feed now. Gotta get some goat food, rabbit food, cat food. Yep, and then get gas and something for dinner, and then we're gonna go home. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I feel like I made half a gazillion stops today. We went to Tractor Supply. They didn't have what we needed. So then we ended up getting a bag of rabbit food there. But then a friend of mine told me about a guy who, I don't know, sells animal feed out of his garage. Like he's trying to start like a feed business or something. I don't know exactly. So I went by where they said, but I think he's only open on like Saturdays, and it's not Saturday. So I drove by. They didn't look like they were open. So I ended up going to the feed store in town just to find out that the rabbit food that I paid $25 for at Tractor Supply was like $12.50 at the feed store. So I'm definitely going to be going back to the feed store. Plus, it's better to shop local. I also was able to get a better quality goat food. The goat food at Tractor Supply was $24.99 a bag, and I got it for $16 a bag at the feed store. So that was awesome. And I put in a good word for Hunter in case they need a strapping young man with a good bag to throw bags of feed.
Because apparently all of their full-grown men workers are crying because they have to lift heavy feed bags that are probably less than 40 pounds.
They're 50.
For the majority of them. 50 pounds is not a lot, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you are, I guess. Anyway, and then we had to go by the bank, we had to go to the gas station, we had to go to Walmart and get some stuff for dinner.
You realize you've had me carry 60-pound bags of feed before, and I got 4 of them in one run.
And he carries 80-pound bags of concrete. That's why I was like, hey, he's homeschooled, so if you need him, here's the phone number. They're like, yeah, we've already been through too many people. We've decided that we're not going to hire anybody else. And I was like, well, if you're busy and you decide you need somebody, here's the phone number. Anyway, so that would be cool. Yeah, I did a lot of running around today. Usually running errands means spending a bunch of money, and I did, and now I'm feeling like I want to barf because of it. It wasn't anything that was unnecessary. Animals gotta eat, people gotta eat, we gotta have gas for the generator. Speaking of the generator, Hunter, what happened?
So,
what happened?
I was pouring gas in the generator. I was pouring gas in it, and I spilled like just the smallest amount of gas on it, and it just like went up in flames.
Caught on fire.
Yes.
Caught on fire. I was like, hey, I put gas in the generator before I leave so that I can get gas while I'm in town. And he goes over and does it, and then he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I look over, the generator's on fire, the grass around it's on fire. I was like, oh my gosh. And our garden hose was hooked up to my irrigation system in my garden, so it was gonna take way too long to get it around to the side of the house. So we had the ice chest sitting there. I just ran over there with the ice chest and started dumping bottles of water on it.
First thing I thought to do was unplug the extension cord going to the house.
Yeah.
So that didn't melt, because that's like our best extension cord that we have, and our only extension cord that really is high enough capacity to charge our batteries.
Yeah, that's heavy duty.
Otherwise, any of our other ones would melt if we tried to charge our batteries with it.
Yeah.
And that'd be an expensive extension cord to have to buy again.
Yeah,
and I saw her running over there with the ice chest, and I was just thinking, okay, when she gets over here, I'm just gonna throw the ice chest on it. But she beat me to it. She had a bottle of water open and poured it over.
Yeah. I told Hunter that when he grows up, he needs to be a firefighter because he's good at putting fires out. He's put out several fires.
Yeah, like a near house fire.
Yes, yeah. If it weren't for Hunter, our whole house would have burned down a couple years ago.
Yes.
It was bad. It was bad. And Hunter was brave enough. He went in there and shut the propane off. And then I hid immediately while everybody else was running inside to see what was going on. I immediately
went and grabbed
the garden hose, and I come in behind everybody else with the garden hose and had, put out the residual flames. And it was, at that point, we still had a tarp on our roof.
Yeah,
and it left like a swimming pool size hole in the tarp that covered camp at that point, and it was no bueno. So Hunter should grow up and be a firefighter because he's good at putting out fires.
Nah.
Yeah, he's not afraid to run towards the flame. As a mom, it scares me a little bit, but it also makes me kind of proud.
But there's very few things that would scare me like that.
Anywho, yeah, so it's been a busy day. The whole generator catching on fire was exciting in all of the wrong kinds of ways.
It got my blood pumping though.
And yeah, so anyway, now we're on our way to Waldron. I went and bought stuff for dinner, and Greg invited us to go out to eat. So we're gonna go to Waldron, and he's gonna take us out to eat, which is gonna be such a nice change.
Hey, it wasn't exciting in necessarily a good way, but it is good to have a little bit of excitement in your life every now and then. Because you have to have your blood pumping every now and then.
I could go for some different kind of excitement.
Well, so, it's just been really bored lately because there's been all I've been doing lately is really just,
working on computers.
No, that's fun. I just haven't been. I haven't been doing that because I can't. There's nothing to work on. Like, the only thing I could do is dissect computers and just put them back together, which there's no point in. Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Right.
Or no, sorry, that was backwards. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I don't remember that saying.
Same. I used to get in trouble as a kid because I'd take things apart that weren't broken. I wanted to know how the VCR worked, so I'd take it apart. And then I didn't know how to put it back together.
Yeah.
My dad's like, "Dadgummit, I just bought that thing." I'm like, I just wanted to see how it worked. Or the radio. I remember I got in trouble because I took a radio apart one time that was perfectly fine. So, yeah. That's what my dad gets for teaching me how to use tools, alright?
I built a radio once that was perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Except I used super glue to do it, and it glued the on button.
On?
Yeah.
So it would never shut off.
I had to unplug it. Yeah, so what I'd done is there was on switches and stuff. On switches, AM and FM switches. Well, it was in the AM switch position, and it was in the switch for the on was in the on position. So whenever I glued it, though, I had glued it upside down so that it would wouldn't just strip off, right? Well, what I hadn't thought of was it was like liquidy super glue, so it just like seeped down into the switches and then got them stuck. So
yeah.
I couldn't fix that.
Lesson learned, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, so I guess that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me while I'm running errands. It ain't nothing exciting. Just out spending money.
That's not exciting at all.
No, it's not.
I hate spending money.
Yeah, me too. Anywho, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you enjoyed today's just coming along with me video. And I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Bye.